Okay, hi Jack. This is a new system I'm using, so you get to hear my voice, which might be weird, but hopefully it's more accessible feedback. The first thing I would say, having looked at your draft, is you've only written 500 words. Given all the time that you've had, I really would have thought that I'd have been getting a completed draft and at least images for your PowerPoints. However, what I will say is your context on the poets, it's much too brief. You don't go into any detail about Anis Majani's spiritual background or his religious background, all of which is on Sector in the group PowerPoint orals that I posted on Sector for everybody to see. So the information really is there, and you now need to take responsibility and go and find it and use it. Okay, now your first analysis. So this is where you're talking about the ideas. Now you've kind of got a good idea here. You've nailed it about what their ideas are. But just a couple of things. Rather than saying constantly saying, just say uses repetition. That's the technical language of poetry. Uses repetition with the phrase "this is for." And rather than saying that it shows Majani believes that what you're doing is you need to show how understanding of how this enlightens the audience to the range, the huge range of stereotypes and labels that we live with in society, because every member of the audience can relate to at least one of those labels. Again, when you say talks about, he uses sound devices, consonants, to echo the ebb and flow of the hardships of life that we must all endure. That's good. You're using language of comparison. Similarly, Kosinian talks about the labelling that occurs in society. Again, stop saying talks about. Talk about the ideas. For Kosinian, it's not just labeling, it's name calling that occurs, or bullying that occurs in society, that is a terrible effect on its victims. And he focuses on the school victims of bullying. Yes, you might want to put in a little bit of evidence here just to support that. Just a short quote from the poem. Kosinian calls on his own experiences with bullying and what he saw happening with others around him during his school years. Yes. The lines that rhyme about, signifies the great. Now, please don't paraphrase what the poet is saying to me, Jack. I understand what the poet is saying. What you need to be doing is showing me your understanding of the effect that has on the audience. So the effect of this on the audience is reinforcing the absurdity of this rhyme that we all grew up with about sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never harm me, is what he's saying, as if broken bones hurt more than the names we got called. So what is the effect of this? He's actually making us really understand that the names that victims of bullying get called in school are far more painful than a broken bone. Can we relate to broken bones? Yes. Can everyone relate to bullying? No. So the way that he's engaged us is by highlighting the absurdity of this sort of accepted nursery rhyme, which seems to be an excuse for allowing bullying to take place. So you sort of said sometimes being worse. He's very specific here. It is far worse than a broken bone. So moving on, you've got some comparative. Well, Majani and Kosinian both believe that we're living in a society where everyone is judged, and that both poets believe that we can rid ourselves of these stereotypes. That's good. tells the audience, tells his audience, or tells us, yes, get a better mirror, look at this, yep. Repeatedly tells his audience to shake the dust, and that when they're not, yep, this is all good. I think just here, so this doesn't matter who we are, there is something special about us. We shake off all our preconceptions and embrace the world. It's not our, well, yes, fingertips trembling though they may be. So what he's highlighting here is also embracing vulnerability, isn't he? That it is scary. The world is a scary place, but once we shake off the stereotypes, we can embrace ourselves and reach acceptance, which is just what Kosnian says. If we get a better mirror, look a little closer and stare a little longer, we can accept ourselves and embrace and reach self-acceptance from within. So you just need to, this is much better, your editing is much better, but I just want you to focus on those parts. Now, I'm a bit surprised to see so little in this paragraph. This is where you are going into your specific analysis of the techniques. So you need to use Teal. You need to be, starting off your topic sentence for both poets, labeling and stereotyping, or labeling, stereotyping, and name calling can have great, now they're not great, can have huge and negative effects on people in society, either stopping them from living the lives they thought or causing them to feel low self-worth. That's good, Jack. But now you need to highlight 3 to 4 techniques, the ones that really stand out. Repetition is one, sound devices is another, figurative language or metaphors, because Kosnian uses a lot of metaphors of the school being a battleground, to highlight this idea of how the victims of bullying feel that every day is like going into a war zone. And what effect does that have? It really makes us understand how awful and terrifying and relentless bullying, the effects of bullying are on young people attending school. So you need to do more on this. You've seen some, go back to the group analysis to help you. That's why we did it. You can't just copy it, but it's there to help you. So there should really be no excuses now, Jack. I need to see this finished and ready to present. Now you've started on your personal connection. Again, don't talk about the poems talking about. Make sure you're showing your understanding that it's the poets. This is the assessment criteria, your knowledge and understanding of the way creators of text use stylistic features. So both poets believe in the negative effects of stereotyping and the flaws of our society. And you talk about your personal, it's very honest, and that's good. But I think you just need to finish off with a good, strong note on, remember the title is Powerful Poetry Can Be Dynamic and Unsettling and Dynamic. So you need to address this about how these powerful poems are dynamic and unsettling. How did they create that feeling in you? In this part, you might talk about the performance techniques, but you don't have to. You can keep it just to your personal connection. But Jack, you've got quite a lot of work to do, but you're absolutely on the right lines, and that's good. But you must make sure that you really nail this paragraph. All right, so go back, use the resources that are on Sector. Bye.